Have you ever quit a job without another lined up for you mental health? How did it turn out? Quit my job at a call center without anything lined up. I used to cry in my car before a shift, used up all my sick days, and it worsened my suicidal thoughts, so I got myself out of there when I couldn't take it anymore. I quietly stood up from my desk and quit on the spot. I had never walked out on a job before. Took me a month to find another job with just slightly less hours, so a little less money, but it was worth it because I'm a lot better mentally and physically, and I like the job. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Edit, thank you for all the kind words. I'm a young professional now and am finishing up an extension program to further my degree. Life's good at the moment. Smile, life has its ups and downs, it's just part of the grind. Also, people have been asking where I'm from. I'm Canadian. Your situation sounds a lot like my last job I had. This was in 2014. I've told this story before, but basically I was super depressed and was contemplating bad things. One day I broke down into a crying mess to my wife and we talked through it. We came to an agreement that I would quit my job and be a stay-at-home dad, and she would go back to working full-time. I had a side business doing web design, and with my mental health in check I was able to get back into it. We struggled a bit at first with the pay cut, but I was able to bring in some projects and bridge that gap within a few months. In 2017 my wife was able to quit her job and come help me with the business. In October last year we started a second business doing VoIP phone systems, networking, surveillance systems, hardware software procurement, etc. In May this year I nailed down a couple of huge contracts and hired 2 guys on full time. Edit, that's a lot of updates for my comment. Would like to say a few things while I'm making an edit. 1. If you ever find yourself contemplating self-harm, please speak to someone about it. You matter to someone, even if you feel like nobody cares. 2. If you have a dream to run your own business, do it. Note that businesses fail, and while I've managed to have some success, it wasn't without its struggles and a lot of hard work. 3. I love my wife very much, and I am very grateful for her support. We're in this together. That's an amazing turnaround story. I'm pulling for you. Keep doing your thing. Worked a call center job after 1 week of training and 2 days of actual work. During the training you're shown how it's not possible to order a free trial of these expensive products without seeing the clearly marked, in multiple locations, terms and conditions. But then I got to the floor and these people were old people who were offered a free gift when they bought something on Amazon. They never went to a website and ordered a free trial. They were lied to and then charged $80 plus 3 weeks later. It was a scam built to prey on old people. I had a panic attack on the way to work and quit when I arrived. Duck that noise. Edit, I missed the part asking how it turned out, sorry. I was a new mom and we were really hurting for money. That was my first job after having my son, and we had to beg money off relatives to stay afloat another month until I found a new job which was much better. I was able to be hired as a substitute for a school district and, a month later, get rehired by the same district as a teacher's aide. Now I'm about to finish my certification and become a teacher. Yep. My mental health is still not good, and now I'm broke. Left my job of 15 years with nothing lined up because it was gaining me nothing anymore aside from being overused for my job knowledge with no reward. Took a month off, found another job that pays me more per hour than my last after I got promoted to supervisor after putting in 5 months. Couldn't be happier. I quit after an argument with my boss because I didn't agree with how he did things. Within 2 months I started my own company doing what he did but the way I thought it should be done. I am still running that business and he shut his down 3 years ago. Pro revenge there. The best revenge is living good. Congrats on your successful business. Pro est revenge doing absolutely nothing to duck with the other person except doing their shit right and reveling in the fact that they've failed by their own merits without argument, because you've disproven all other arguments by simply existing. Yes. I had a job that I loved. Had coworkers I loved. I'm still friends with some. Ownership changed. My job that was a MF, 9 to 5, somehow turned into on-call all the time. My workload was always heavy, got added onto. I would say no to additional workload. It somehow still ended up on my plate. Somewhere around a year after the ownership change, I found myself Googling heart attack and mental breakdown symptoms because I knew something wasn't right. I finally walked into work one day and handed in my notice. No job lined up. Didn't think it through. I wrote up my notice 5 minutes before I left for work that day. Due to bills, I ended up taking a job I was overqualified for, and made crap for pay. But after a few months I got hired to where I am now. I do the same type of job as the one I walked away from. Did it work out for me? I'd like to say yes. But only time will tell. I will say both myself and my family are much happier right now. And I haven't wondered if I'm having a mental breakdown or possible heart attack since I left. That's a win. I got bored of my life in the UK and sick of my job. So I quit and got a one-way ticket to Australia to start a new life. How did it work out? Great. Stayed for a year, then quit my job and got a one-way ticket to Japan. How do you deal with setup costs? It wasn't that expensive. I stayed with a mate in Australia for the first few months, then got a job. In Japan, I lived in a really cheap share house before getting a work permit and finding a job. Are you still in Japan, or did you book a one-way ticket somewhere else? Still here. I've settled down now and bought a home, although I do go back to the UK once or twice a year. How is it possible to just move to Japan? Don't you need a visa to stay there and to be even allowed to work? I'm interested. Easiest route for Anglophones: have Pulse, have 4-year degrees, speak English, then you become an English teacher. Sorta hit or miss with what company you go through. Government gigs are usually the best. Followed by working for larger companies. Followed by language schools. This might be a dumb question, but how do you teach Japanese to English when you don't know Japanese? Unless I'm wrongly assuming that you can. I quit my job of a year and a half out of anger and spite for my manager, and because of my quickly declining mental health. While it helped at first, the anxiety of not having a steady source of income took a much larger toll on me than anticipated, and I really didn't get to focus on my recovery therapy for my mental health until I had secured a new job to quell my anxieties. Pretty similar experience, unless the person is being specifically abusive. I've now learned to just deal with jobs I don't like. And by deal I mean, meditate before work, seeing a counselor when it feels too big, having things outside of work that bring me joy, not expecting my job to bring happiness, eating correctly, etc. #X200B. Good luck op, hope you're alright. I'm in this boat right now. I hate my job, but there aren't a lot to go around for me. It helps to think of this while I'm stressing about mistakes I've made. The worst that can happen is getting fired, which wouldn't upset me too much. I hate my job, but there aren't a lot to go around. It's not a terrible idea to look and see what's out there. Throw a few resumes out and see if you hear back. You have nothing to lose. Yeah, I had been overworked and underpaid, and underappreciated, at a small resort for months. Tempers flared and I was given an ultimatum. I chose to walk out the door in the middle of the busy season. The next night I went to a bar and saw another resort owner and friend, saying goodbye to his only employee. He typically had 2 to 3. I walked up after and the conversation went like this: me, that sucks, do you have anything else lined up? Him, nope, I've got nothing. Me, do you need somebody to help? Him, do you need a job? Me, yep, as of yesterday. Him, show up tomorrow whenever you want and you've got the job. The rest of the summer I ran his cafe shop. I had 7 years of cooking and 2 years retail management experience, and he ran the outfitter. The first day after showing me around the kitchen he had to go attend to something. When he came back I had 20 people already eating and I was chatting them up and cleaning. He looked around and goes, well, you're getting a raise. The rest of the summer was great. Do you still work there, and if not, are you still in touch with him, the guy that gave you the cafe job? He hasn't responded because he's seating and feeding another 20 customers. I quit a job working as a logistics manager for a hospital. It was the worst job I ever had. The union reps would constantly mess with you, taunting you and try to get you fired. I was constantly on edge and would basically snap over everything. I developed a huge persecution complex where everyone was out to get me. They would purposely feed you false information that would go against required practices. For example, one of the reps gave me a fake forecast for products we needed for the upcoming week, so I was to arrange the delivery, ordering and storing for the products. When I ordered it all and had it delivered, I found out we needed like 1/110th of the products that was ordered, so I had to explain to the finance department why we exceeded our weekly budget. Basically my choices were be fired, or quit because of the colossal duck-up. I was 21 at the time. I'm now in school to get my bachelor's of accounting, so I guess it turned out pretty good because I could leave that horrible industry.